How's it going?
It's going. I'm having a hard time drawing a straight line right now, which I mean, it is the forever problem when drawing. I feel like digitally, it's a lot harder to draw.
I have more trouble with circles than
circles are hard.
Than lines.
But like a straight line is not. Yeah.
And it's the go-to people's like way of describing whether they're able to draw or not. They're like, I can't even draw a straight line. It's like, neither can I, but I'm paid to make art.
Yeah, it's like that.
So that's not a good barometer.
Yeah, that's why we have rulers, motherfucker. You ever heard of a compass? Like, we cheat all the time. We use tools.
Yeah.
Ever heard of a T-square?
It's like people that think like using a reference is cheating. What do you think drawing is?
Right.
What's your goal? Is it to make a picture? Is it to like prove that you're good at it?
Like you trying to draw. You trying to draw Beetle Bailey or what? Like,
why is it disingenuous to be like, oh yeah, I use tools to get this done?
Yeah.
What? No, you're supposed to do it with a bandana tied around your eyes.
You're supposed to use all imagination.
Using a stick, it's like dipped in ink. That's all you can use.
Were you ever of that mindset, like growing up? Were you ever like, you can't use reference, it's cheating?
Maybe not fully in that mode, but I mean, I think when I was younger, I felt like I had more to prove, or also like when you're still learning stuff, you want to try to show you can do it yourself before you start like digging into like making it easier on yourself.
Yeah. Not
saying that's the right mindset, but I do think that I was more that way in the beginning, maybe.
Yeah. You know, I just realized I drew this damn ground in the wrong way. But yeah, you know, I can't really go back to the brain I was when I was like a lad, but I do feel like to some extent I did consider like looking at reference like a form of cheating, and I was like, well, this isn't how they do it. Turns out, yes, it is.
I remember being a kid and like you were good the way you tell people. But he draws good. He doesn't even like trace or nothing. He doesn't even look at any pictures.
Wait, don't keep your tree the way it was.
Like that?
No, like don't like I deleted my lines. Go back to before you erased your lines. There you go. Yeah, you're erasing the depth from the picture. When you have the tree end on the horizon.
You don't know where that root starts and where it ends. It might be a very big root.
It's the forever
root. Goes over
root.
the hill.
But yeah, I remember myself being somewhat of the mindset, like, you know, oh, I can't, like, I'm a cartoonist, I should be drawing a reference. Yeah. But if I'd only changed my mindset just a tad, I probably would have improved a lot more before college.
Yeah, I mean, same.
Oh well. You live and you learn.
You do.
Brandon, how have you been this week?
I've been great. Busy. Working a lot. Work has picked up, so I've been trying to like rack in some extra dough. So both freelance and at the restaurant, I've been trying to work as much as I can. Nice. Picking up shifts, doing it all.
Hell yeah. Get that money.
Trying my best. Ian, how about you? How have you been? What's going on over there? Pennsylvania.
Nothing much for me. I've been keeping busy by just working on various projects.
That's good. One of those projects being getting your internet to work.
Yeah.
How are those trials and tribulations coming along?
Oh, it's an ongoing ordeal, that's for sure.
Yeah. I know it's a very annoying issue for you.
Yeah. Great. I'm like, and I gotta like tell them like, look guys, I don't leave the house. I don't like have a job.
This is my livelihood.
This is all I got. Internet's all I got, you guys. If you could make this shit not drop constantly.
They're like, we could fix it, but the thing is, if we don't, you're going to continue purchasing internet from us. So yeah, we'll be over there to fix it sometime soon. Justice.
Yeah, sure. We really give a shit if you're into that Wix or not. But yeah,
My
I
internet's
mean,
pretty good right now, which is lucky. I've definitely dealt with what you're dealing with many times in my life with different companies. But right now, I'm probably jinxing myself by saying that. But right now, things are okay.
good. I'm glad. Because it's a frustrating thing.
Good for you.
It's not like something you can sort of like do something different to make it better. Hey, we got Leviathan Den subscribing again.
Good to see you.
Thanks for the 22 months.
My God.
God damn.
What an achievement. That's a period of time right there.
It is. That's approaching 2 years.
You know, a baby fresh out of the womb is starting to, like, I think, lock down some motor skills, maybe even memories at this point. I don't know. You probably don't have
Definitely not
memories
memories, I don't think.
under a year. What? You don't remember being an infant?
Being just shy of
What's
2.
Oh man, everybody's showing up. Zone Dog too. Oh wait, no. Is that correct?
I don't see anything.
Why did I hear the fart noise twice? Oh, because my OBS is open. That's why I heard it twice.
Oh, you played yourself.
I did.
Well, look at
Leviathan
that.
Dents, it's happy to have you back. Welcome.
Always
back.
a plagiar. But yeah, you know, it's not like having bad internet. There's like not like anything you can do differently to make it work better. You can't be like, well, I guess I'll just internet harder or I'll Google better. It's like, no, you just gotta fucking hope somebody eventually fixes your shit. Like a doctor.
That's right. There's only so much internet for you to have, and there's not enough.
Not enough internet to go around, I tell you what. It was extra frustrating yesterday. Everyone was experiencing issues. I woke up, you know, I'm the one who's been the liaison. I've been the one on the phone, on the horn with the company, because I'm the one who's home, and so it's just my job to deal with it. And first thing that I did yesterday was I woke up, I went downstairs for a coffee. Whoa, hey, Lizaze is our new best friend. Thanks for the follow, Lizaze.
Welcome.
We appreciate it. But yeah, first thing I did was I woke up, I went downstairs for coffee, and the first words I heard that day were, the internet's fucking up. And I was like, cool. Love it. And then I had a D&D game for the first time in a while. And,
Online, I'm assuming.
Online. And fucking Christ.
Damn it.
It was a struggle, and then like in the last 20 minutes of the campaign when we were like really finishing things up, it just dropped like 3 times, and I had to like reset it and the router, and it was a nightmare. So I'm waiting until Wednesday to call them though, because that's about a week after they replaced the entire modem, and I feel like they don't really appreciate you calling without giving what they deem a reasonable amount of time. Otherwise, they
you
get
have to work on their schedule.
well, not even that work. I don't think they believe you if you like. If they replace your home modem and then you call 2 days later, they're gonna be like, it normally takes like 5 days for the modem to like really get on the network. Like they said like, this thing takes 5 days to really connect to the internet, and I'm like, does it? Like,
You're the Ian that cried internet. They're like, how do we know when there's real problems if you just call all the time?
This motherfucker, I bet he's downloading a video game in the background when it's dropping. Like it's possible.
Real quick, Liz says, Liz here, Den's girlfriend saying hi. Oh,
hey,
welcome.
We appreciate ya. Thanks for coming in. Thanks,
when you hear your family.
That's right. Would you like a fucking breadstick? Hey. But yeah, so internet issues. That's all I have to say. Otherwise, I've just been like editing videos like crazy and going crazy.
You know, if it's any consolation, I love seeing all your edited videos.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I'm curious about the scale here, because this kite seems large.
The kite seems large. The tree seems small. I started to draw the sort of human chain, and then I looked at the tree and I was just like, this looks like a regular sized maple.
You want this tree? You want what you thinking like a redwood? You want something that's like 3 stories tall? You drive a car through it.
It's just it looks like an averagely tall person would like their head like that's like a person would probably reach up and grab the tree like this. Just based on the height.
All right. I saw your little man with the ladder, and then okay, yeah, fine. So the problem is the tree. I understand.
Well, it's this. I mean, the tree itself. I think this branch is what gives up the game because you know the branch.
Gotta get this branch out of here. Let's
like
prune this
branch.
baby.
Yeah, we truncated that branch.
Branch doesn't exist anymore.
Oh snap! Get bent branch.
You could just said snap to the branch. You know, that's a thing that's a threatening thing to say to a branch.
That's true. Oh snap! No!
Please don't. Okay.
Maybe we should make the kite a little smaller too. I don't know.
Oh, we're done. Oh, we're gonna do that.
Oh. But
and we're gonna extend it out from the tree, so like it feels like boom. Now we're talking.
Oh,
now we're dealing with a big tree.
That's right. That's a tree right there.
This is a large tree now.
They called me large tree in college because of the time I fell out of a large tree.
Not very creative people in college, which is sad because it was an art school, right?
It was an art school, yeah. And I was like, damn, guys, really?
Writing wasn't their strength.
No. Whoop.
Oh, jeez.
Did we both try and move the same part of the drawing at the same time? I think we did.
Oh, I think we did. That's probably what happened.
Yeah, that's funny. Brandon, let's just run down the usual suspects of questions we do to start every episode. Yeah, Kaiser Soze did it. Who is Kaiser Soze? Isn't the greatest trick the devil ever pulled convincing the world he doesn't exist?
I like when Kaiser Soze does his yearly Christmas chat.
That's
vaguely
right.
Threatening.
And then someone dies, like under mysterious circumstances, like a month or two later.
Yeah.
Not at all terrifying or strange, but
No.
That's the fucking world we live in. But have you done anything of note, of interest? Is there a cat behind you?
There's a cat behind me. He hasn't moved yet, so I feel like we should get use of the kitten cam before he does move, which will probably be any time. He's sleeping now. The Theo cam. If I yell or clap my hands really loud, might get a reaction out of him, but that seems mean, so I will not.
If you just said his name, like you went Theo.
Let's see. His tail might move or something. Let's try it. Theo.
There he is.
We go. There's a reaction.
I feel like you should pet him since you called his name. He's gonna be like, why aren't you gonna pet? Yeah, there we go. That's the content people crave. Yeah, look at that cat. He's having a good time. Look at that cat.
All right. All right. Boy, that's satisfying. People see. I should just leave that up instead of my face. It's way more.
This is the show from now on. We're not even gonna fucking draw.
Yeah. Look at him.
We're just gonna have a conversation while this cat just fucking hogs the limelight.
Yeah, not bad.
Floofy buddy.
Anyways, for now.
There you go.
Other than that, other than a cat being behind me, not much new this week. Like I said, I've kind of been boring this week. Just kind of been hustling. You know, hustle culture is my life.
That's right.
I wake up at 5 a.m. and that's when the hustle begins. The grind doesn't start till 8 a.m., but the hustle starts at 6 a.m.
Gotta get in that grind set.
I wake up and I drink raw eggs, like a whole carton of them, and that takes a couple hours because it's hard to get them down.
Yeah.
Then I pass out because I'm very ill.
I was gonna say
exhausted from vomiting.
My schedule is 5 o'clock, wake up, eat a bunch of raw eggs. 6 o'clock, get my stomach pumped. 7 o'clock.
That takes up most of my day, like going to the hospital.
Battle ropes.
Exactly. So I've just been busy lately. Nothing new in this past week, really.
Ready. So we
It's
both
not
did
great
nothing.
content. I did a lot, but nothing interesting. No one wants to hear about that.
Yeah.
Stuff.
You ever like I used to have a lot of awkward situations back when I was working in the restaurant, because like my friends would stop by the restaurant and like I would have some drawings I needed to get done in the near future if I wanted to ever get anything accomplished. But people would like, when people were like, hey, what are you gonna do tonight? I'd be like, fucking like nothing, because in my mind I'm just gonna be sitting down drawing with like a fucking movie on. To me, that's nothing. But then people will be like, oh, you want to come to this party? And I'd be like, oh, but I'm going to be working some drawings. And then it looks like I'm a liar. But it's like, no, it's just in my head. Like,
I see.
It's a thing I got to do. It's happened a couple times, and it definitely has created for a situation where I just look like a dickhead. And it's really just a matter of, in my head.
I feel like I've been telling people I'm working on stuff or drawing. Like, I've been saying that for a long time, so I don't get into that. I probably had that happen to me once, and then it like made me feel so embarrassed that I just made sure to tell people what I was doing for the rest of my life.
Right. I just can't in my head when I like it, because it feels like nothing, even though it's usually something important that I do gotta get done. I'm still just kind of like, fucking nothing. It's like it's because it feels depressing to be like, oh, I'm gonna sit in a darkened room and maybe put on.
That seems depressing. That seems like a pretty. I think. If you ask somebody what they're up to and then they have solid plans of like being chill by themselves, that comes off to me as like competence. I'm like, okay, that person is like, sorry, I'm not free. I'm busy being chill by myself. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not confident enough in that.
Trying to impress me. They're just okay. Fair enough.
Like if I could, like, because I feel like if I were to say, like, oh yeah, I just want to go home and play a fucking video game for 8 hours and get high, someone would be like, oh, well, you could be, like, doing cool things. And so in my head, I'm just like, well, it's better if I say I'm doing nothing, or I'm doing, like, a thing, you know,
hey,
sort of
maybe it's just me, but playing video games for 8 hours and getting high seems pretty cool.
No, I agree.
As long as it's not every day.
Yeah, yeah. If someone told me like that was their plans for the night, I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, dude, get it!"
About to have a great night, enjoy yourself.
Jealous, but like, if I feel like if I were to say that, people would look at me and be like, "Loser." So I don't know. It's like this weird.
That's on them.
It's on me. It's not on them. It's on me. It's like a.
Well, the fact that you think that they're thinking that about you is on you. But,
yeah, 100%.
If they actually think that, then it's on them.
I don't think they do. I have very supportive. I only keep supportive. Yeah, I keep supportive people in my life. If someone's like not a supportive person, I'm like, I don't got time for you. I'm not gonna give you like my shit. But I don't know. It's 100% a mental thing with me, and I don't know why. Let's talk about that. Why don't I just lie down here like this? You tell me.
Yeah.
All the ways I'm fucking up.
You lay on the bed next to Theo in the kitty cam, and then start telling me the way.
I guess it all started when I was 6. And I started to have memories of when I was 2.
Oh, you only started having memories at 2? I thought we established that you have memories at 1 year old.
Well, you know, I call 22 months basically being 2. Like, you know.
Oh, you're one of those people that speaks in months.
I round up. Well, now that we both established that we both did absolutely nothing this week.
Nothing interesting.
Nothing.
I feel like that's valid.
I know. That's the joke.
Have you watched or played anything this past week? That's
well.
Yes. I see you've been simulating again.
Here's the funny thing. Download.
Sorry, I'm gonna cut you off real quick because I think we just had this conversation about be confident, tell people if you're playing video games, but also if you're simulating, maybe don't. It'll be like, I'm gonna go home and cut the lawn virtually for 8 hours. Get high.
So, no, but here's the thing. So you saw me as a test of the new modem on Wednesday. I did play Farm Simulator for like 3 hours, and then I sat down last night and I wanted to play a game, and I ended up just working on some shit because my brain is broken for some reason. I can only like feel comfortable if I'm like working on one of 8 projects I've laid out for myself.
Grind culture.
The grind set, man. It's instilled in me. It's distilled in me.
You can't break that. It's who you are now.
Can't break the grind set. But I sat down and I looked at like the possible games that I could be playing. And then I looked at Farm Simulator and Cooking Simulator, both games of which I streamed over the last week. And I looked at them, and I started to get flashbacks of Lawnmower Simulator. And then I just uninstalled both of them right then and there, because I was just like, I can't! No more!
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I mean, I think a game like that is chill, and if you're, you know, if that's what's fun to you.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't feel fun and it feels like work, then don't do it. Like, I enjoyed Power Wash Simulator, even though there was nothing to it besides basically they give you like an area and you have to just paint it with water until it's all painted.
We played Power Wash Simulator, right, though. We always played it while we were, like, watching a movie or something like that. And so it was kind of like a...
I enjoyed it.
I loved it. I had a great time, and especially because it was, like... So, like, Power Wash Simulator was almost, like... So, like, Josh Strife Hayes on YouTube calls it second screen content, and I think that's valid as a thing. Mm-hmm. Like, despite the fact that it was my main screen content, Power Wash Simulator felt like second screen content, where we were watching a movie, and I was really more paying attention to the movie, but we were still power washing at the same time, and I don't think that there's any, like, I don't think we would have ever beaten that game, or gotten as far as we did at all, like, remotely close, if we were just, like, focused solely on the power washing.
Very true, very true. It would be a lot to just, like, zero in on power washing.
Yeah, so as second screen content, in a sense, Power Wash Simulator I think was perfect. And in a similar sense, when I was playing Lawnmower Simulator, I did have a really fun idea that I should do with another sort of like mindless game like that sometime, is I'll stream it and then I'll set up a playlist that people can add videos to, and then I just react to the videos while we're playing the monotonous game. And people seem to really enjoy that.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind doing that again. It'd be fun. But I couldn't fucking...
Oh, I did that in the past. That's fun. I haven't seen that stream of yours.
Oh yeah, it was exactly one Lawnmower Sim stream that I did. I just said, hey guys, this is hour 4 of mowing lawns. I figured out how to do it. You make a YouTube playlist, and you can make it so that if people have the link, they can just add videos to it. So I did that.
It's all on YouTube, so there's nothing against TOS, mostly.
Yeah. So I told them, like, I'm not gonna watch videos of people dying or any shit like that, so, you know, nothing like that. Not that I think there's any of that on YouTube, but you never know. And not that I thought people would post that, but that was just for any of the random passerbys on Twitch who saw that somebody was giving them a platform, almost. But yeah.
That's fair. I mean, that's a pretty popular thing a lot of Twitch streamers do.
Is watch people die?
And like in just chatting, they just like let people send videos and they just watch them.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. I mean, React content is actually very big right now, so I mean that's sort of definitely a thing. And I wouldn't mind doing that again sometime. I did also uninstall Lawnmower Simulator, even though I never completely finished it. After I'd finished like that,
did enough of it.
Thought I did enough of it, and I came back to like being able to play games after finishing a huge project, and I looked at it and I was just like, I'm good. I don't need to ever open this shit ever again.
Leviathan Dunn says, wait, I missed the story. Is the net repaired? No, it is not, is the quick answer.
Yeah.
It's still, still misdiagnosed.
Yeah.
Are they sure it's not the modem? That's the thing that I keep going back to. Are they sure the modem is good enough to do what it should be doing?
I mean, they replaced it, the entire modem. Yeah, that was the last thing they did, was a new modem.
Modem might affect speeds, but you wouldn't be having the drops from just like their modem. Probably not. You know, odds are from 2 different ones.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Zenut says, this drawing reminds me of the end of Go Dogs Go when all the dogs are partying in the tree.
That is a good book.
I'm not familiar with that book.
You know, a little bit of Seuss.
Is that a Dr. Seuss joint?
Yeah. In combination with Spike Lee. Oh. It's I'll give you the brief rundown. There's some dogs. The dogs are in cars. Those dogs, they're being encouraged to go.
Okay. Go twice.
Yeah, it's like It's like
Go
it's
Dogs.
like a cheer.
Go.
Yeah.
Leviathan Dunn says, hey, by the way, I can't wait to get the comic that you contributed towards. Okay, yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate that. We'll do a nice plug of it too at the end of the stream. We were gonna do a plug
Can't wait to
of
get it in my hands.
Can't wait to
I'm gonna
touch
sniff the
that.
pages. You like that new book smell? Are you one of those people?
Oh, I do love new book smell. Yeah.
It's good. What is that? It's just like paper.
The glue.
What is that smell? It's the glue. Oh.
Yeah. It's almost whenever there's like new anything smell, the answer
Or
is
glue
almost
sniffers.
always the glue. It's truly the case. New car smell?
Bunch of glue sniffers.
It's the fucking glue. Yeah, no, it's true though. Like new car smell is the glue.
I didn't know that was new car smell. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
It's the glue that's
So my
kinda
car's
like,
glued together?
the interior is. I mean, you're
Oh
fucking
my gosh.
the felt ceiling, like that's not stapled in there.
I thought it was sewed in.
Do you see any
Somebody
sew?
took a needle and thread. Well, I just thought they were that good, you know.
Oh yeah, they hit it that well on the seam.
Should this stack of people be just people, or should I add any kind of like weird structures or things they're standing on?
I mean, we could add. I mean, you could. I think we should go nuts with it because like I don't know what else to. I'm doing a guy chasing a kite in the background because I was like, what the fuck am I gonna add to this
You
picture?
could have people climbing the tree. You could have people in the tree.
I
You have
got one
people
guy in
trying
the
to like
tree.
fly over to it. You could have people trying to. I don't know. I'm doing like the World War Z ant pile.
The, like ant stack. That movie was awful, by the way. World War Z. Shit.
Yeah, I that was one that I had. That was second screen content. I had it on, but I was more interested in whatever was going on my other screen.
Yeah, same. That was an exhausting movie. I would actually argue that that movie exhausted me.
Yeah.
And it just kept happening, and then things would happen, and we'd be like, "But fucking, why is this happening?" Because the plot demands it. And that's the worst, I think, is when you're watching a movie and you're like, "Why is this happening?" And it's like, "Oh, it's because the fucking plot demands it."
Yeah, it's because they didn't write it in a natural way.
Yeah.
Where it actually like makes sense. Like, oh yeah, that's something people would do. It's more like, all right, they're just trying to push the story forward.
Gotta check all these boxes.
Things I've been playing. I started Bloodborne. So I
Nice.
don't know if there's anybody in the chat that played Bloodborne. It seems to be a very big favorite amongst Soulsborne people. I often hear people say it's their favorite of the series of the
I do hear that a lot. Yeah, I hear it's either
from
Dark
Soft
Souls.
games.
Yeah, people tend to say that Bloodborne is their favorite Souls-like.
I'm doing pretty well so far. I feel like I'm bad, but I've killed a few bosses. So I'm plowing through. I've cheated a few bosses, which is I feel like there's no cheating in that game if you do it within the
Yeah.
if the game allows you, it's not cheating because you have to cheese some bosses. But I've definitely done it to a few. There was one guy that was like, there's this whole segment of the game where there's a guy on a big tower with a machine gun and like a chain gun, and he's just rapid firing anytime he has a line of sight. So you're constantly like fighting the shitty little monsters as you're trying to make your way to him. But it takes a long time to get to him, and if you monster like hits you and knocks you into the open space, you just feel like insta killed by this chain gun. It's really frustrating. So you spend all this time getting to him. When you finally get to him, he's so fucking fast, and he has like this big like shotgun that just pushes you back. So I like fought him like a few times, and I was like probably spent like 2 hours just trying to get to this guy and fight him. And then finally, the way I beat him was I climbed up to his tower after trying to fight him several times, and I just took out a repeating gun and I just shot him over and over, which barely hurt his health, but eventually it pushed him off the tower just by shooting him, and then he just fell to his death, and I didn't have to. So I didn't put a dent in his health myself. Fall damage is what killed him.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think that's necessary. I mean, I think the Soulsborne games are generally so immaculately designed that if something in the meta does allow you to sort of cheese it, quote unquote, like that, then you just did a good job. You
Okay, I'm taking it that way too. I was happy. I wasn't like, I guess that works. I was like, fuck you. I was
Yeah.
proud of myself.
Of the like games from FromSoft that I've played that are in the Soulsborne sort of genre, I've never like gotten to a part where I like whooped its ass and I felt like it was the game designer's fault. I always felt like it never feels like it's shoddy or anything like that.
I've definitely had a boss or two in Elden Ring or Bloodborne where they just like glitched out and stopped fighting me or something, and they're just standing there, and then I just killed them, and I'm like, I'll take it. I'll take it. It's 100 more of these, so I might as well just enjoy this gift from God and move on in the game.
It's not like you got a lack of bosses to fight eventually, you know.
Right. But I get what you're saying. Overall,
yeah,
you know. That's true.
Any other games you've been playing? I've always wanted to play Bloodborne, but since it's like a console specific game, and I haven't had a console since my PS3 died, I haven't.
Hey man, if you're coming out for my wedding in 40 days.
Oh my God, is that really
coming up so fast?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. You'll be coming out before that, but you'll be coming out for the the wedding day is 40 days. And you have full access to my PlayStation. I'm sure we'll be off doing stuff. So like, if you want to fuck around with Bloodborne for a little while, you can. You don't have to.
I want to say yes, but the issue is like if I start playing Bloodborne and then it's not going to be the kind of game I can finish in the week.
You won't complete it. No, you won't complete it.
And that's going to bother me.
If you want something to do while you're stuck in the house, if we're not there.
It'll bother me if I can't play Bloodborne all the way through.
Yeah, that's fair. I should just send you home with my PlayStation.
Oh, I would feel no. You don't. That might be hard to keep in my carry-on, anyways.
That's true. You're gonna trip and smash it in line at the airport.
That's my fear.
Whoops-a-daisy.
There's here's the thing, like I don't like to let people borrow things of mine because just over time, so many of my shit's been lost or just ruined or that I don't like. I will, but I don't like to let people borrow my stuff. But if they ask, I'll be like, yeah, all right. But I kind of mentally make notes to just buy a new one anyways.
You're like, I'm not getting that back.
Yeah, exactly. As a default, I just assume I'm not getting it back. But for some reason, I guess I have a good reputation for taking good care of people's things, because I do try. Because so many times people have been like, you gotta borrow this game of mine or this thing of mine, and I'm like, no, it's okay. I'll get around to it when I get around to it. And then they just like put it in my arms and like, no, you're going home now, and this is in your possession. And I'm like, oh shit. Here's another thing I have to keep track of and take good care of and keep in a climate-controlled sort of situation.
Yeah.
And the most recent time
I trust you. I mean, that's the reason I would lend you something.
I appreciate that. I most recently did manage to give a book back, that Sandman Volume 2. I did finally return it, and it felt so good to give that back.
I've had that one for a while.
Oh, hey!
That P. Miller.
That P. Miller. P. Miller is here, everybody, guys. If you get the chance.
Which P. Miller is that?
That's the one who I actually linked you to his YouTube account.
It's that P. Miller.
It's Chief. It's Chief from Two Dicks on the Beat.
Oh, I know. I was just doing a
I
know.
That
name.
That was more for the audience's benefit.
Fair enough.
But hey,
good
P.
to
Miller.
see you. Thanks for following.
So glad to have you here, folks. If you get the chance, P. Miller, is going to be streaming himself on YouTube, probably around 9 o'clock our time, maybe in like 13 minutes, something like that. It's a wonderful stream. I always tune into it immediately after we finish this one. He just goes on Reddit, where people have posted their music, and he listens to the songs. We have a discussion, and he, not me personally, he like discusses with the chat, but then he sort of gives his opinions and thoughts on the on the music. And it's actually very, especially if you like music, or maybe you have an interest in music production, he gives a lot of great advice that like I listen to, and as someone who's made music for like 13 years or something like that, I hear it and I'm still like, damn, that's some good fucking advice right there. So if you get the chance, check out his stream. I don't think you'll regret it if you like music. And he says, he says, that was an accident. I meant to follow DrawBomb.
Oh, sorry. Well, it's just as easy to unfollow as it is to follow, and there won't be an alert. There should be like a when people unfollow you. I would love that.
That would be so funny.
Except someone like friend of the show, Austin, his own dog would take advantage of it and unfollow us every episode.
Absolutely. So would Crazy Kyle. I have no doubt in my mind. Crazy Kyle would pull the same trick. But yeah, check him out. He streams on YouTube, not on Twitch. Which I've been hearing a lot of folks say that YouTube's the place to stream now. I don't know. I'm not gonna What if I just unfollow and follow rapidly? Yeah, I wonder if I have a feeling like something like that might happen. Like you'll get like 5, and then the site's like, "Hey, what are you doing?
Make up shit to get off the pot, buddy."
Yeah. Just for that, you're subscribed for a month.
That's gonna cost you. We did tier 3.
Right. Yeah, check the stream out, everybody, and thank you so much, P. Miller, for being here. We really appreciate you, and we appreciate you as Chief. We love you, Chief.
Love you, Chief.
Love you, Chief. Which, by the way,
that segment was my favorite.
Yeah, P. Miller, by the way, while you're here, so many people have told us that you were their favorite character, and that the "love you, Chief, I love you guys" sort of thing that we ended up doing for that was like their favorite bit from that whole thing. And you know what? I don't think they're wrong. I think that's great shit.
Yeah, I'm very proud of the whole project, but that part is this part that still every watch through, like, it has me almost in tears. Just, like,
Yeah.
Just so perfect.
Absolutely. Shout outs to improv. That's right, folks. Shout outs to improv. And speaking of improv, Dungeons and Draw Bombs episode 1 is up on YouTube as well. And I have been actually editing episode 2, along with some other things. I've been doing a lot of editing lately.
It's true. You have.
I have. So you've been playing Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Just kind of get back into the vapid pop culture talk.
I don't think I've been playing anything else. I've been playing Chivalry 2 a lot on PC,
Yes.
but I've been kind of taking a break over like last week.
Same, because it's like one of those games where I really like it, but I don't want to burn myself out on it, and I could easily do that if I, sort of went ham, as some people say.
Yeah. I've heard people say that.
Yeah. I'm the one who told you what that means, or what it means, but what it's an acronym for. Yeah, and I actually had no idea it was an acronym for some time as well. It's a fun moment when you realize like a word you've been using, like when you find the etymology of it.
Makes sense, because ham just makes no sense. I mean, you could just say it's just slang, but and it kind of is still, but.
I do. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Leviathan then did say this drawing reminds them of the music video Reggie Snow and MF Doom for Cookie Chips, which I haven't seen that video, so I can't comment. I do love MF Doom, but I haven't seen necessarily his videos. P. Miller also says, are you guys going to play God of War?
I think yes, but for some reason, it makes no sense to me, so I can't answer the question, but I still haven't finished the first one. I have it on my PlayStation. I love it, what I've played of it. It's right up my alley, my style of game, kind of like a light RPG with like a good story and good acting and like just good gameplay. And I still never beat it. I don't know why. There's no good reason. So
yeah. I
need to finish it, but it's what I've played is fantastic, and I don't know why I haven't beat it.
I would love to play it. I know it's out on PC now finally, and that's made me very excited and definitely increased the chances of me eventually playing it, but my bank account's like super empty, so I can't really justify too many purchases.
Can't be buying God of War right now.
Can't be buying $60 games right now.
Yeah, fair.
But you know, we're like
eventually.
Fire. Yeah. New one comes out in a few weeks. About to ruin my whole art momentum. Ian, do you got a PlayStation 4? Do not buy things. Do not buy me a PlayStation 4. I will feel so guilty. I haven't had a console since my PS3 died.
I don't think he was gonna buy a PS4. He's gonna buy the game, but I think you're equally not wanting that. But,
no, yeah, that would still also make me feel bad. But no, I haven't had a console since senior year of college, and my PS3 shit the bed. I lost all my progress and all my games. And then I did try and buy a Switch at the beginning of pandemic, but I was like $300. Like, no.
Yeah, it was like extra because of demand, right?
I have
or was
to
it always
assume,
$300?
I think it was the normal price, but I thought maybe it'd be on a discount.
I will say I got $300 worth of use out of my Switch during the pandemic, but I understand
Yeah.
the issue.
It
We
was
also
one of
got
those
a stretch from that P. Miller.
Oh, yes,
Gotta
we
do some
did.
stretchies.
Yeah.
Let's check on the cat. How he feels about me yelling.
Oh.
Okay, sorry.
Might want to pet him again now that you've
Yeah.
disturbed him.
He's gonna leave.
Oh well. Well done, boys. There we go. He's back to being docile.
Yeah, he's chilling.
Yeah. But yeah, I would love to have a console. It's not in the cards for me until I have employment status of some variety. But whatever.
P. Miller, it was great having you. Thanks for stopping in. Have a great
thank
stream.
you so much. I can't wait to pop in on your stream right after we finish this one. And everyone, again, if you get a chance, check it out. It's great. P. Miller on YouTube. And yeah, make sure you check out his song All Love as well. That's like the new one he's been pushing.
Where can they find that on YouTube also?
Yeah. Also on YouTube. Got a music video and everything.
Did you say the YouTube handle?
P. Miller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Love you guys. Love you, Chief.
Love you, Chief.
Love you, Chief.
So funny.
Love that movie. Love that bit. So that's all you've been playing though, is a little bit of Bloodborne.
Those two are the only ones I've been playing. Like, I haven't been playing as much games. I mean, I went to bed at like a normal time last night. I don't know what's happened to me. I look myself in the mirror and I'm like, who's this man? I don't see the man. I don't recognize the person looking back at me at this point.
You had a real tomato in the mirror moment.
Never heard that term.
Oh, like when you throw a tomato in the mirror because you can't stand the sight of you.
Like, I mean, I could imagine what you meant by it, but I've never heard anyone say that. You say it to me like, hey, like when you take a tomato and you throw it at the mirror. No, I don't actually. I don't know.
Yeah,
never done that. Probably never will.
It's a real Goblonsky moment, Yeah, no, it's when you Goblonska.
Sorry, I'm not yes handing you right now. Oh yeah, totally that thing.
No, it's okay. Have you I'll just real quick give a rundown. I did play a couple games. I was going to talk about a couple of them actually last week, but then the internet decided that the internet had enough of us, so we didn't get a chance for me to sort of go on my rant. But I haven't really played anything the last week aside from Chivalry and Farming Sim and Cooking Sim, which I promptly deleted because I don't have time for that shit anymore.
It also wasn't that I didn't like it that much. I tried it for like I played it while we were watching Extreme Ops. And it was just too like I like a simulator that's like, okay, yes, you've turned a tedious thing into a game, but not like, and I guess cooking makes sense because it is very precise in the real thing, but it's like, all right, cut your tomato and make sure it's the exact amount of ounces, and like go to the kitchen and find your salt, and I'm just like, nah, I'm good.
I think there is a way to make a simulator game feel realistic and detailed without making it clunky and unforgiving and extra tedious, And I'm just like, I get it why there's tedium games. Like, some people fucking love a tedious game, but I'm just I was doing it for a while because I was kind of like, this is funny. No, I can't. I can't anymore. I can't. So I deleted them. I did also play. So like Sable was going off of Game Pass, and so I played it like the night before it went off Game Pass. And I enjoyed that. I listened to the new Louis Cole album while I played Sable. I highly recommend the Louis Cole album. And I quite liked Sable. I think Sable scratches an itch if you're like looking for that kind of game. It's like a fun you know what Sable is?
I don't think I do. I might
Okay.
know if you describe it, but by the name, I don't.
The pictures look like it's like the art style
Okay,
is meant. What was
Think
that?
of Fable. Never
Yeah, you're
mind.
thinking of Fable, yeah. No, the art style of Sable, like it's got an art style to it where it's rendered, where like it looks like a Jean Giraud drawing, the creator of Mobius, the
Okay.
comic. And it's like this person in a mask and a cloak.
That's the one with the guy that turns into a vampire, right?
No.
Mobius.
Yeah, with Jared Leto.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, and
No, I know
it's
what you're talking
Mobin
about.
time. Nah.
Being annoying and interrupting you.
No, it's okay. But yeah, you're like a character in a mask and a cloak, and you're in a big desert environment. You got a hover bike, and you go and you explore shit.
Okay.
That's the game.
And you liked it.
I liked it because I like a game where you just like they give you a big ass world and they're like, hey, explore this shit. And that's the entire game. Like I don't even want to get into like too much detail about the game because like literally the entire point of the game is the joy of sort of exploring just an unfamiliar environment. Like that's the like they make it very clear that the entire point of the game is fucking have an adventure. Fuck it. Like there's no like enemies to fight. There's not
I like that.
yeah, there's a sort of overarching plot, but I figured out how to beat it in like 3 hours because like you basically have to accomplish one thing, and then you get like a little message from like your crew or whatever, and they're like, hey, if you go to this place, you can finish the game right now if you want. But also, you know that you haven't explored everything else. So I didn't finish the game right then and
It's a
there.
nice out for a completionist. It's like, hey, if you don't really like this game and you want it to be over, you know where the exit is. But in the meantime, feel free exploring and having fun.
Exactly, yeah. And so, yeah, and I was like, nope, I'm a completionist where I gotta like 100%
Unless it's
the game.
Scorn, which we didn't talk about.
Oh my god, yeah. But yeah, if you like a game that's just like here's a cool place, go look around, and there's nothing making you do anything. Just if you like exploring. And that's the game. Is it's just like, hey, do you like exploring? Go fucking explore. And there's like a lot of I have a couple of complaints I do have about Sable, and I will say those.
Here we go.
And I always have complaints. They're minor for Sable. Sable is minor, and the one is it's kind of buggy sometimes, and it hit the frame rate. The game's not very optimized. Which is surprising to me because even despite the Mobius Jean Giraud art style, like everything's super low poly, you can tell. So I know they're doing a lot of weird rendering stuff to make the game look as beautiful. It's a beautiful game. To make it look as beautiful as it does, it's definitely it should be more optimized.
Yeah.
And there's like the occasional bugs you get here and there. Nothing that broke my game. Sort of one, you're supposed to be able to like call your bike like a fucking horse in Zelda or something like that, and I had to restart my file. Not my file, but I had to like go back to the main menu and then reload my file so that it would actually work, because I guess I broke it by somehow earlier in the game. There's like a couple bugs here and there, but I also chalk that up to it's made by an indie studio. They're not a AAA studio, so
Yeah, they don't have the man hours to bug-proof every inch of the game.
yeah. So I give them a pass on that sort of stuff. But I do think the game could be better optimized, and I don't think they have much of an excuse for that. But it wasn't unplayable for me. But I've read a lot of reviews, and a lot of folks are saying like they couldn't play it because of the frame rate hitches and things like that. But the other issue I have with the game, so like I think that there are characters to interact with and talk to, and there's like settlements that you can go to and things like that. And I think the dialogue in the game is very charming. Like when you talk to people, the writing in it is really nice, and so you get a good sense of character. But you also it's like as I was reading the dialogue, I kind of like it hit that spot, when like good dialogue that's like charming, hits. It charmed me. I don't know how else to describe it. It was charming. But whenever your character speaks, they don't show their dialogue. it's like a more verbose sort of like descriptive thing of like how the person was feeling, and like your character like it's their inner thoughts, and they're like saying, I hold the thing in my hand and I look at it, I look at them and I tell them blah 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 blah. And like I get it, I get what they're doing, and that's fine, but sometimes it was like so overly verbose for some shit that like I would have rather have felt smaller. I would have rather they wrote the character just so you get their dialogue and you sort of get the sense of what they're doing or how they're feeling. It just felt like they got too descriptive when the character was sort of like narrating themselves, and I felt like, no, I mean, this game's so charming and the dialogue is so charming, and now you're actively taking away from it by having your character, your main character, do this extra weird descriptive shit. So that was...
Yeah, I feel like that's a fair criticism.
Yeah.
I'd be like, man, you're trying to do this thing, but you're making it like exhausting.
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
Talking like a person.
Yeah, and so I just feel like, you know, the writing is good, but I feel like the writer needed to take a step back once in a while. Yeah, otherwise, great game. I really recommend it if you like exploring a crazy desert environment. It's not a crazy desert environment, but the fun part about it was I didn't get a chance to finish it because it did go off Game Pass the next day, and I was gonna play it that night, but the COVID booster had me all fucked up, so I just went right to sleep and did some throwing up that night, so I did not finish the game.
You're real sick.
Got me real sick, but yeah, so I didn't finish the game. Although I could have. I know I have explored exactly half of the map, because I have the shit. I saw the map and I saw like, I'm halfway through. And I probably could have finished that second half faster because I knew what I was doing more than like when I was playing the first half, obviously, because, you know, then I'd played a little bit of the game. But if you like a game where there's no combat, it's just... It felt like Zelda, you know, like Breath of the Wild, but like without the fighting shit. It was more like the puzzles and the climbing, because the climbing's very similar to Zelda 2. You can pretty much climb anything if your stamina lasts. Yeah.
What was the first game to do that? Was that like Shadow of the Colossus?
I would say yes, but Zelda, like Shadow of the Colossus, gave you very specific areas that you could climb. Breath of the Wild, True. I feel like, was the first game where it was just like, it doesn't make sense, but you could climb that shit. Fuck it.
Climb it all.
Which I almost do kind of prefer the Shadow of the Colossus method. Like, I like that you can climb anything. I don't mind that, but there are some times where I was just like, what are you gripping? How are you climbing this? Are you Spider-Man? So, you know, but it's fine. It's a lot of fun. It's a game that's about it truly is a game that's just about the beauty of exploring a place you've never seen before, that's beyond your imagination, and that's cool. I like that. That's like my favorite thing of video games is,
once again, not to bring up Scorn again, as Zedus in the chat says, we don't talk about Scorn.
Oh God.
I feel like that's what you wanted. That's what you were like. It wasn't necessarily what you wanted, but you were like bargaining with God at a point where you were saying like, just give me that game where it's like, just let me walk around this world instead of what you did get, which was a game that you quit. I feel like people who don't know you very well, it won't understand how much it's saying to say that you quit 15 minutes before the end of the game and uninstalled it. That doesn't really mean a lot to everybody, but to people who do know you, that's quite the bad review.
Yeah.
You'll suffer. You'll like play a game that feels like a bad paying job to the end, because that's how you play games normally.
To put it into perspective, I played Lawnmower Simulator for 20 hours. I played Scorn for 5, and I uninstalled Scorn before I finished it. And Scorn has an ending.
One that you were almost to.
Oh, I was like 5 minutes away, and then a fucking glitch sent me back before the final boss fight, which there's 3 boss fights in a row for the vinyl phosphite. Is that what cave do you find that in?
I think vinyl phosphite is a type of, it's a molecule or
it's a crystal
element, or is it a crystal?
Yeah, it's like a type of rock formation, you know.
That's for Morgan's wedding ring, we got vinyl phosphite.
Vinyl phosphite, yeah.
It's beautiful.
You had to fight off a very imposing person to get that vinyl phosphite rock. That's a good one. You ever like mix those words around and you're like, I should use that for a story eventually, because it's subtle enough where if you don't know why it's that, it's like I would love to make a fake location in like a story of some kind called it's just like it's like a waterfall, so it's called Bondle Falls, you know.
Bondle Falls. Yeah, that's great. I feel like people do that stuff, and if you notice it, it's always like a bonus for anyone who puts it together. And it also sounds real enough that it's not just like a one-off joke with no, like, you know, if no one thinks it's funny, then it still works as just a basic name for a waterfall.
It turns out like just slightly shifting some words around is a great way to come up with fake names for things, and kind of like, because like that D&D game that I mentioned earlier, my character's name, so it was like it's a Halloween themed D&D game. It's going to be on the Extra Attack YouTube channel eventually. I'll be sure to plug it once it's up there. It was a reunion of the Extra Attack crew, and I really enjoyed having a chance to talk to most. We had everyone but one there, but it was great to talk to them.
But when you first said most, I was like, oh no, is there Extra Attack beef? I don't want to know about that.
I mean, I think they're. I don't want to talk about anything on the air about it, but I was worried there might be. I was worried there might be beef, but then when I saw everyone together in a room again having a good time, I was happy, because it sort of assuaged that fear.
Good.
I was worried there was beef, and there wasn't. Is really what I.
Okay, good. I was just making a joke. I wasn't even trying to dig for that either.
No, I know. I just it was in the back of my mind. Like, I was worried there was beef, and so it was nice to have those thoughts assuaged by the whole situation.
Love that. Love to hear that.
Me too. I love to see it. You love to see it. But so in the little one shot that we did, we were vampire hunters, and I gave my character a backstory that his father was he wasn't a vampire himself, but his father was one of the big deal vampires. And I named
vampire give birth to humans?
Well, you know, before they get turned into a vampire, like, you get turned.
Good point.
You can still,
Good point.
But
it's the egg before the chicken type situation, but it works in this situation.
It does, yeah. But I named my character Utar Esford, which I'll just write it out real quick. And I thought it was so fucking clever, and I knew no one was gonna get it until wait, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, there it is. So that was my character's name. And I thought, yeah, and I was like, I'm fucking clever, my dudes.
Do I get it?
You know what? I'm sorry. I spelled this wrong. There we go. Utar Esfin. I was like,
Nosferatu.
Yeah. It's Nosferatu.
I love it. Okay, I was like, oh god, I'm gonna look dumb if I don't figure this out right now.
Nah, but like I didn't get a chance to explain my character's backstory, so I didn't get like a chance. No one had the inkling that maybe I was doing an a la carte situation. But yeah, I was. It's a good fake name too for a D&D character, Utar Esfer, or Utar Esfin. Like, it sounds like
good. It sounds like a real name in this kind of. Belba Rocket's here. Welcome, Belba Rocket. She says, "Oh my God, this is cute. Tag yourself. I'm Guy falling off." Well, that's like four guys. Are you all of them?
Yeah, she's all of them. Yeah.
She embodies every person falling off.
I'm this guy right here.
He's being used as steps.
Yeah.
I feel like how do you do the pointing thing? Oh, laser pointer. I feel like, to be totally honest, I don't know if it will show up, but I think I might be this guy that's like, yeah, I'm helping.
I love it. Yeah. I considered that guy too, because I was like, I feel him on a spiritual I feel him on a physical level, but I do feel like this guy on a spiritual level sometimes, you know?
Yeah. I'm like, don't worry guys, you're doing great. He's spotting you. In case anyone falls, I'll catch you.
Yeah. I am helping.
Joke's on him though, he's about to get smashed by Branch Man.
He's about to get fucking clobbered.
His bluff is about to get called by Branch Man.
You ever do that thing where like there's a group of people who are like, we need help carrying this thing, and then like a bunch of people latch on and start carrying the thing, and you're like, start just doing the one finger carry, like I'm helping.
You just walking around them like in a circle, and they can feel your presence, so they haven't quite put together the fact that you're not actually contributing to anything.
Yeah. Well, I sometimes I'll let it be
they're
known.
well aware.
No, yeah. I usually make it what I'm because I don't want to like steal the credit, but I make it known like I'll try and help, and then I'll be like, okay, well everyone jumped on. Like no one thinks I can carry shit anyway, so people are happy to. Like they're like, hey, does anyone want to carry this volleyball? And then like 8 people will latch on and be like, yeah, I'll carry it. And it's like I can carry the volleyball, you guys. But so yeah, if I feel like a bunch of people have jumped on to help something
What are your
out,
friends? Ants? Why do you need multiple people to carry a volleyball?
I know.
I also sometimes feel like this guy over here, who's like, I'm smarter than all of you. Why won't you listen to me?
Yeah, hey guys, come over here, buy your Sims plumb bobs.
I like that he's. Yeah, they do look like that. He looks outraged that they're going through all this trouble when he's like, just giving these things away, even though he's not making any money off it. The joke is very smart. If you don't get it, it's because you just don't understand how smart the joke is. It's very smart.
We're just too clever for you. You guys don't have a high enough IQ for us. Let's see. Bubba Rocket says Ian is definitely prostrating. That's yeah. It's a good word. Word of the day, folks. Prostrate. I
check my prostrate from time to time. They say you should start around 40, but I'm getting a jump on it.
Might as well.
Yep, I'm like, yep, still there.
Nice and tight.
Bubba Rocket says, instead of one finger helping, you start directing traffic.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Actually, yeah, that is a fun one.
I'm the supervisor. I'm here to make sure everything goes smoothly.
Everything's going nice. Hey, have we been hit by a car yet? I think not, and I think we can know who to thank.
What about this guy here who's deep throating a leg of the table?
I like that guy. Yeah. Do you like the Spider-Man who's holding him up?
Yeah, that's great. He's like Spider-Man.
He's like Spider-Man, man.
Oh, great. That's good. That's like the final piece of the puzzle there. Should we add more guys? Is this enough guys?
It's 9 o'clock. Jesus Christ, it's already 9 o'clock.
I know. This might be like a one drawing show if we're only doing this one. I mean, if we're still adding more guys, we could probably get more in if we start coloring now. But
we could probably get more in, but I think I mean we don't want to make it. I think we're fine. I think we can start coloring.
I might draw 1 or 2 more guys, and then I'll get to coloring.
Yeah. I'll add 1 or 2 as well. Or yeah, Balbo Rocket says, or like, wait, I can open this door. Like if a bunch of people are carrying something, you start opening the doors to, which is that's a valuable role. It's a valuable role. And Xenu says he's the one cutting the tree down, which yeah, I think that's accurate.
That guy might be the smartest one. Everybody stand back. I got this.
Yeah, fuck that tree.
Shouldn't have eaten my kite.
Right. Tree. Carnivore. But yeah, I hate Scorn. Scorn sucks.
Yeah, I'm glad you turned it off. Because that's rare for you, and the people in the chat were starting to campaign for that.
Yeah.
Me and Kyle. Like, stop.
Goodness, and it's interesting too, because it does seem like a game with very mixed opinions on it. Half the people seem to really like Scorn. Half the people seem to...
The art's great, and that gives enough points for certain people to like it.
I think so. I think also some people... I mean, I also missed an entire weapon in the game.
Sure.
Which in my opinion is the game's fault. Like, you shouldn't make... there was so often in the game where I'd get stuck on a puzzle because I didn't see, like, a switch light up, because you have to stand, like, 2 feet from all these, like, fleshy organ bits, and you're like, oh, this is the thing I can interact with. But I'm also like the kind of person, I look around very intently in all video games. I'm always looking for the secrets. I'm always looking for the Easter eggs. I know that the pickups that give you the extra abilities are in the areas that are off the beaten path. So I'm always looking for those. And in Scorn, I missed an entire weapon of a 4-weapon arsenal. Because
It's true that you do that. I feel like you stopped playing Elden Ring because you do that so much. And you were just like,
yeah.
I'm not accomplishing anything because I'm wandering around looking for the secrets too much.
That is accurate, yeah. And yeah, so I'm that kind of person. I miss, like, again, there's 4 weapons in the entire game, and I missed one of them because there's aspects of the game that need reworking.
If there's only 4 weapons in the game, when they appear, they should just drop into your lap. It shouldn't be like oh, good, you went to the secret spot to find one of 4 weapons that you need to actually play the game.
Yeah. Like, for a game like that, it's like you never miss a weapon in Half-Life. Never. It's never an issue.
Beat it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you're like skilled, you don't. But like, they're designed to. There's certain enemies that, hey, this enemy's really fucked up to fight. You should have this weapon to make it doable, and not like a nightmare.
Exactly. Yeah. So that game. And so, like, that put me at a disadvantage, so I was stuck using a shitty jackhammer for pretty much the entirety of the game. Until they gave me a shitty shotgun that I was able to fire, like, 3 times before I didn't have any more ammo for it ever. And yeah, the puzzles were all so abstract to the point where I would, like, hit a switch and I'd be like, what did I do? And that's not a puzzle. That's like I never felt like if I'm playing a Nancy Drew game, and I solve a puzzle, I had to think that answer was gonna happen, because there's like, you can't just like stumble your way through a Nancy Drew game. But all of the puzzles in Scorn were pure stumbling your way through, in my opinion.
Yeah, so the design is not that great for the type of game.
I would have much rather it was just a walking simulator. Like, I love a walking simulator. I think I'm totally cool with a game you just walk around and see shit, or shit happens. Like, it's fine. Don't make me fight the same terrible 3 enemies over and over again. And don't make me solve bad puzzles. I would rather just walk around and enjoy this amazing. And then maybe you could have fit more environment in if I was doing more walking around in it. I don't know. So, yeah.
I think that's fair.
So yeah, that game, I am definitely not going to ever recommend it to anybody. I would recommend watching a YouTube video of someone just playing it with no commentary.
Yeah. Because it's visually very interesting. That's actually what I did after you quit, to watch the rest of it.
It's like one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen. Like, its graphics are fucking...
That's high praise too for a game that you just tore so much. That's high praise. So that's, it shows that you're not just being like biased. You really wanted to like it.
I really wanted to like that game.
You were trying so hard. You kept dropping compliments, even though he was like being very mean to you.
Yeah, I really, more than anything, like, that game is one I've been very excited for a long time. And in my head, I didn't know there was combat in it until I played it. I was like, oh shit, I gotta fight shit.
Yeah, I guess I didn't know it was going to have that either, but I was excited when I found out, and it turns out that's the weakest part.
Yeah. And yeah. So fucking A, Scorn. I wish it could have been different, Scorn. I really wish I could have given you some praise.
I'm gonna check in on the kitty cam real quick.
Do it.
Still asleep, or passed away. We're not sure.
Oh, I see a little bit of
I see
movement
breathing.
there. Yeah. We're good.
It's rude. I don't need to snap my finger at him. Yeah, he's fine.
You gonna tap on the glass next, or what?
Yeah, we keep him in a case.
I feel like we should talk about something that we did end up very much so enjoying.
Yeah.
was we watched. Well, first of all, we gotta talk about a couple of things we didn't enjoy. was
Yeah, let's start with those. We'll work our way up to it.
yeah,
I have talked about the thing we did enjoy to a few people since, but we'll
me
get to
too.
that.
Yeah, I've been recommending it left and right.
So what did we not like?
We watched the new Halloween movie.
Yeah. And comparatively to the previous one, much better.
Yeah,
But still bad.
it's definitely an improvement over Halloween Kills, which was a movie that actively infuriated me.
It was a terrible movie. I kind of can't believe that it happened in the way that it did.
Yeah, I can't believe that movie was such a
It was
fucking mess. Yeah, that movie was just a mess. It was just I don't know how else to describe that movie other than a mess.
Quick question.
Sure.
Is the man tied to the tree have his penis out?
No, that's actually part of the tree sticking through.
Oh, okay, good. That's a good way to protest that, you know.
Stick your dick out and tie yourself
Stay
to the
back.
tree.
Stay back, my penis is out.
Don't want to cut this
Construction
wood.
crew's like, whoa, I'm not gonna touch that guy. His penis is fully out.
Oh, I might touch his dick.
And then I'll have to rethink everything about myself.
Ugh. What does this make me? Am I a tree toucher?
Well, I'm one of those dick touchers? Oh no. Honey, I think I need a divorce. I've learned something about myself today.
I think, am I an assaulter? I mean, the point was that the guy didn't want me to touch his dick. Oh. I'm gonna get so
Can't
canceled.
touch the tree or my dick. I know you drew Waldo there. Xenu's in the chat says I found Waldo. Should we draw the characters? Should they all be purple bomb men, or should they be different colors? What do you think?
I mean, I like us when we make the bomb characters different colors. I feel like it allows us, like, I like our bomb character thing that we got going on, because there's a lot of sort of like variety we can inject into it if we decide to take the effort.
We're working on the Bomb Boy expanded universe.
That's right. The multiverse. These are all the same bomb, but just, from different dimensions.
I feel like we learned a lot about our styles of bomb drawing last week when we did the sauna bombs, and like mine were all like thick and hairy, and yours are more like nimble. I don't know what that says.
Maybe these bombs are a reflection of how we view ourselves.
That could be. You're a nimble man.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I can climb like a wall.
You climb walls?
I feel like
That's the hardest thing to climb.
I feel like that's what a nimble person would do. Is not like.
I think a nimble is like agile, like you're fast. You
can climb shit.
Okay, I guess that's part of. Jack, be nimble. Jack, be quick. Jack, jump over candlestick, which is a bad example because anyone, even like my grandma, could probably jump over a candlestick.
Yeah, it's got to be one hell of a candlestick if it's like impressive. Or people just don't jump a lot who made that story.
Yeah. Well, I'm worried the small flame might catch me on fire. Come on.
Yo, did you hear about this Jack guy? He's invented this new form of movement called jumping. It's taken the world by storm.
He was the first one to jump.
I used to be tripping over shit all the time. Turns out I could have been trying this jumping thing. But wait, how does he do it? How does he get in the air? Well, what he does is he pumps his legs. And then we would always pump our legs, but we would never tuck. You gotta tuck your legs up then. And your legs pop out of the air. You're in the air for a couple of seconds.
Jack Jumperstein invented jumping. I think that history will show that. Mm-hmm. And his great-great-great-grandson, Parker Jumpingstein, invented parkour.
That's right. I defy you to look up any books and find references to jumping before Jack.
Doesn't exist.
And that's why they call them jumping jacks.
Exactly. He was the first jumping jack.
What was the first jumping jack? So yeah, we watched the new Halloween.
We did.
We didn't like it.
No, there was some really dumb things they did. Some really creatively dumb things. Like,
Yeah.
some of the things were like, I can't believe you're doing this, but here you are doing it. And God bless you. Bad.
I guess we decided that this was the direction we were gonna go.
You want to do Michael Hall? Well, I don't want to really straight up spoil the movie.
Yeah,
But
it's pretty recent. I would say we shouldn't probably outright
yeah.
spoil it.
But either way, way better than the last. If you're one of those like Halloween aficionados who get excited every time a new one comes out, or you're a completionist and you're like, well, I've seen them all, I gotta watch this one even though they suck. It's way better than the last, so be excited about that part. It's still not good. And you know, it ended in some ways. They really like locked it down. They're like, we know they know people don't believe them anymore when they call a movie Halloween Ends. So they're like, we need to show on camera that this ends.
Yeah. We gotta actually
Although
end it.
I'd love to see Michael Halloween come back after this film.
Me too. That'd be very fucking funny. Hey, guess what? That was my dummy.
Creative. Oh, I was thinking like in his form that the movie ends and he comes back that way.
Oh, like a weird, like a sort of like
A pile of goo.
Yeah. Like the Sun in the Monkey's Paw short story, where they're like, yeah, he got eaten up by a machine, but he's back and he's knocking on your door. What's that gotta look like?
Pile of goo.
Big old pile of goo.
And there's just a mask on the top of the pile of goo.
Yeah, it's like a weird, like, fleshy pile. There's just like a little mask sitting on top of it, and there's like a knife sticking out of the pile of goo as well.
It's just like waggling at you.
Yeah.
Don't get near that pile of goo.
Oh my gosh, that pile of
try
goo
to
is a
murder
knife. It's like when those crabs have a knife, you know, and they just like.
Yeah. Bella Rocket says our high school art teacher used to scold both of us for constantly drawing ourselves without even realizing.
Who's both of us?
Who's both? Who's the other? Is you and your alternate personality?
You and the person you drew, who was drawing.
We're both here in art class.
Welcome.
I'm not drawing me, I'm drawing Samantha, my other personality.
Bell Rocket, and this is my drawing.
Yeah.
Doodle Bell. But yeah, so I think the main thing that we were saying the entire time we were watching the new Halloween movie was, number one, how terrible the dialogue was. The dialogue in those movies are really just ass. Like, we watched Halloween, and then like the day after we watched the movie that we ended up actually enjoying. And the dialogue in the movie we actually enjoyed was just so much more palatable. It felt like, I wouldn't say the dialogue in the movie, which I should just say, we liked Bullet Train. We watched Bullet Train, and that's the movie we ended up enjoying.
Yeah.
But the dialogue in Bullet Train was way more listenable to than in Halloween, which the entire time we just felt like, what the fuck are you fucking
They put
saying?
thought into it. They tried to make it an interesting thing to listen to, not just a way to push the story forward. Halloween, it feels like it's like a kid being like, and then they went and did this, and then they did this, like writing a story.
Yeah.
It's like everything everyone says is just to like explain or to move things forward. And then something like Bullet Train, or like, you know, directors who are, I don't know who directed Bullet Train, but people who direct who were famous for like their dialogue, you know, like a Tarantino movie or a Wes Anderson film or a
Coen Brothers.
Like they'll have characters that just sit in a room and talk for 20 minutes, and it's interesting because they're putting thought into like how the people speak and that part being interesting instead of just being like exposition to just move the storeward forey.
Storeward forey. That's a good. Best neighbor I ever had was Storeward forey. You know, he's a good guy.
Great guy.
But
it's very to the point.
Yeah, absolutely. Just always kept the conversation moving. Yeah, I mean, the dialogue in the new Halloween, it was either to just like, you know, again, move the plot forward, or it was like an attempt to have like a quirky character saying quirky things. And I feel like I can tell when a writer is writing dialogue that they think is really clever and quirky.
Right.
You know? Or just like, I don't know, it felt like there's like a scene where Jamie Lee Curtis' character is telling her granddaughter like how to hit on a character that she's interested in, and she says like, gotta show them your tits, and like slams a piece of like a big handful of like spaghetti on the ground.
In her defense, she wasn't just saying, hey, if you want to get a guy to like you, show him your tits. She said like, show life your tits or so. She was doing some kind of weird metaphor, but also she was saying, you know,
life your, yeah. Well, I mean, it just and then she
I'm
like
just saying it sounds a lot more absurd, even though it was absurd. She threw a handful of spaghetti at the ground. Is what you're trying to get out by keep cutting you off.
Yeah, well, she said show your tits, and then she threw a plate of like a handful of spaghetti onto the floor, and then that's the end of that scene. And it's like, why? What? I know her character's been through a lot. I know it's like a fucked up town that they live in, and everyone's a horrible piece of shit. Apparently, that's what they were establishing in the movies. Like a bunch of terrible people live in this town, but like, it just nothing came across like these people were saying to each other as like a believable conversation. Yeah, I just never felt like these were real people.
Right. And that's kind of the issue. A lot of the films.
And the deaths were brutal. Yeah.
I thought the deaths were fun. Like every time they got back to like just being a slasher film, like okay, we know what we're doing here. But then when they were trying to like do other things, I'm like, okay, they have no idea what they're doing here.
Exactly. Yeah. And it was interesting too because we watched the movie, hated it, and then we were like, oh, Red Letter Media just released a review. I gotta hear them tear this shit apart. And then they were like, not only did they like it so much, but they had like a video segment at the end of their review where they like went over the deep symbolisms in the movie. And like, they're not wrong. Like a lot of what they were saying about the movie, like in terms of symbolism and stuff like that, like once they pointed it out, I was like, oh yeah, that is definitely like what they were doing. It didn't make me retroactively think everything else that sucked about the movie, which was pretty much the entirety of it, was better. I
think therein explains why we like Red Letter Media, is because you don't agree with them like 50% of the time, but they at least put thought into why they have their opinions, which is what every reviewer should do. That's the reason they are a reviewer. Not because you're looking to them to be told what opinion to have, but because they can lay out a thoughtful critique and also explanation of why they feel a way, one way or the other.
And I respect.
So we disagree with them, but you know, it was smart, a smart analysis of the whole thing.
Yeah, and I can appreciate that they're like, you know, they're not gonna like a movie because it's like, oh, then they started punching each other. Like, I get the vibe that Red Letter Media would probably be bored by Bullet Train because it's not like a deep movie that's gonna like, it wasn't like a life-changing movie that had like deep undercurrent themes of like what it means to be a parent and etc. But so I appreciate that they're looking for a different experience, and that's fine. I get that, but they really seemed to like be so enamored and like, and also because like the new Halloween movie, it's like half of a passing of the torch movie, and I guess they're okay with that, but I'm fucking tired of torch passing movies. I'm tired of that shit. Like, just fucking end it. Don't pass the torch. And like it's redundant to say like make some new shit, because that's obviously not what these companies want to make a new Halloween movie because we felt obligated to watch it because it's the new Halloween movie. I gotta watch it. I gotta see what they do with the new Halloween movie. I gotta see what they do with the new Predator movie. I gotta see what they did with the new Batman. And it's like,
and
you
also
almost...
to give them a little credit, I bet you a lot of the creators want to create something more new, but the studios are probably reeling them in with all their notes.
Oh, absolutely. Well, yeah. I mean, there was a series of tweets I saw that were very depressing from Craig McCracken, creator of
Phil's brother.
Phil McCracken's brother, yeah. But creator of like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. I want to say Powerpuff Girls, but I don't think he was the creator of Powerpuff Girls. I think he was very involved in it.
And in Tartakovsky.
Gendy Tartakovsky? I'm not sure Gendy Tartakovsky. I think he was still doing Dexter's... Oh, let me just look it up. But Craig McCracken, either way, he's created a number... He's been the showrunner on a number of cartoons. One of the most recent ones is Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Craig McCracken did make Powerpuff Girls, so that's one for you. He's made a couple of other shows, and he had a series of tweets recently where somebody was talking about how Foster's is getting a reboot, actually. Someone was like, hey, I guess it's cool that you're rebooting Foster's or bringing it back, but I'm surprised that you would do that. I figured you'd want to make something original. And then Craig's like, I pitched 16 original shows to Netflix, and they only wanted a reboot of something. It's just depressing, because and that's like, HBO shuttered down like a bunch of like studios, and because they got bought by Discovery, and they're taking a bunch of like well-loved and respected shows off their network so they can write them off and like get a return, like tax return on it, and it's like a whole disgusting situation. And
one of the worst parts is with that streaming model, when they take something off, it kind of doesn't exist anywhere else legally.
Yeah.
It's like if you've created this thing, it's one thing if like, okay, well I guess you can only buy the DVDs now, but they can't even do that. So some of this people's work is just like gone until some streaming service pays enough money to post it. It's super weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And there's
I've also seen. Sorry, I'm cutting you off again. I've seen some people put on like their Apple TV has been like, sorry, this thing you bought is no longer available, and it's like, how is that legal or allowed?
Yeah, that's actually happened with Amazon as well. Although with Amazon it was really weird because it was like the show was still available for purchase, but like my ex had bought all of Workaholics on Amazon, and then one day she was just like, I gotta buy it all again. What the fuck?
Real dumb.
Yeah, which is why I've never bought anything on Amazon after that. But
yeah, I guess I wouldn't. That's a possibility of happening,
Yeah. But so it's a real fucked up situation with the Discovery HBO merger, and the only thing that's really going to solve it is antitrust legislation, which because of certain situations with politics and things like that, that's a pipe dream. But
right.
Because of like with the Discovery merger and all that stuff, they're only interested in like making new stuff that's like off of existing IP, because it's like for them it's like it's money, it's people that gotta watch it. I do feel like it's gonna hit a breaking point where eventually everyone's just gonna not care about any of that shit anymore, and they're gonna go somewhere else for that. I hope. I mean, I hope we don't have to get that far, but it's certainly the direction it feels like things are going. So that, I mean, with the new Halloween movie, it felt like an obligation to watch it, and I'm sure that the creators would rather make their own shit. But with the new Halloween movie, it was like started as a torch passing movie, and I was like, I'm fucking tired of torch. Just kill the guys. Don't snuff the torch. I don't give a shit. No more torch passing.
Yeah.
I hate a torch pass, because whenever you pass the torch, it's like, hey, it's the same guy, but it's a little different. And it's like, I don't fucking care. The only show that gets away with torch passing is Doctor Who, because it's sort of built into the premise.
It's designed that way, and that's fine. Like, yeah, if it's the plan from the start, go ahead, knock your socks off. But other than that, it's like we don't need to just let's write new stories. We don't need to keep passing Indiana Jones' hat to the next Shia LaBeouf in line.
Exactly. So in the Red Letter Media review, they were like, I love a good torch pass, and I was like, I fucking don't, and that's probably why we don't like the movie and you did, or some shit like that. Although they also hated it.
You're probably right.
They also hated that god-awful ending of the movie, too, though, which did feel, like, tacked on and necessary and so stupid. Holy shit, the ending of
As
Halloween
they said, it was
Kills.
probably a studio that was like, well, what? No, you have to kill Michael Myers.
Yeah. That's a spoiler, by the way, so... Spoiler
Well,
alert,
I'm
I
not
guess.
saying that happened. That's just what, sorry, spoiler. Retroactive.
Retroactive spoiler, but,
Called Halloween Ends. I mean,
it's
I
called
think
Halloween.
every trailer for the past, like, 10 Halloween movies has had Jamie Lee Curtis being like, tonight, this time, I'm gonna fucking kill him.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
yes.
Wow, since we're in spoiler territory, we might as well, like, it's so fucking stupid, the ending of that movie, because, spoiler, they kill
So
Michael
good.
Myers, and then they have a whole funeral procession with him strapped to a car, and then they throw him in, like, a car thresher, and it's, the entire time we were watching it, we were like, this is so dumb, and it was, and it didn't stop being dumb, ever.
He got turned to soup.
Got turned into soup, but like, turn him into soup, fine, like that's fine. But like the whole parade and like everyone in town, like like they made it into like this whole weird big moment, and it's just like, I don't know how. Like it's baffling how dumb it looked and was.
Right. That was kind of all that was wrong with the last movie too. Was they kept doing this weird, like, the town comes together and has this poignant moment, like getting rid of the boogeyman. It's just like, okay. Xenute says, look at these poors who actually watch movies for fun instead of going to parties on yachts made of cocaine. I feel like that would dissolve in the sea.
Yeah,
But that's not your main point. Yeah, you know, we're fools. I get that the movies it's a business just like anything else, so it has to make profit. And right now with DVDs not really being a thing and movies costing $500 million, it's hard to be creative. It's hard to take risks.
Yeah.
I think that's why TV's doing a lot more of it. So, but it does suck for the consumer. You know, as a person who appreciates the art, there's more of a divide than ever between you and the person who has to make money off the product.
Yeah.
But still, it results in a bummer. You know, people who like love movies and love the culture around like being like a cinephile, it's kind of a depressing
People who just
time.
want to see a new story, like people who want to see a new story that's not like, hey, do you remember the Addams Family? Well, guess what? It's the fucking Addams Family again, 60 years later. Hey, did you like Gone in 60 Seconds? Well, guess what? It's the car again. Hey, did you
The
like?
Car is back and it has its own movie. It's
Car
Nicolas
is
Cage's
back.
Car.
We've made
This
the
animated
car
feature
into
for
a
kids.
We've made the car into a sympathetic character. Why? Because fuck you. That's why. It's so dumb.
Izzy makes a good point. She says it sucks for everyone except for the fat man on top. I bet you. Okay, so we're as the movie watchers, we're like, oh man, like I used to love movies. Now they suck. I bet you it sucks even more for the people whose job is to. I mean, sure they're making good money making whatever they're making, but I'm sure like the creatives that have like their whole passion is like working up the chain and getting into a position where they can make big studio movies. It probably sucks for them too. I'm sure a lot of them want to make more creative stories. It just the studios aren't buying them.
Yeah. Or they make a story that's an original property, and then the studio's like, this is good. This is good. Let's change the character into the Terminator. And let's make this a Terminator. And then it's just like, well, shit.
We're gonna-
now it's...
This is a great action movie you wrote, but instead we're going to call it Die Hard 7, and we're going to use CGI Bruce Willis for this.
But we'll actually also get real Bruce Willis, and he's just gonna yell at you the entire time.
I've heard that he sold his image to a CGI company.
Oh, did he really?
He was one of the first actors to officially sell his likeness.
Oh,
I get it though. He's having some issues with like dementia starting to, and so like he's been in all these like straight to DVD type movies lately where he's just trying to, I think, like
Trying to make some money
it's like
for his
Breaking
family.
Bad without the crime. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna rack up as much profit as I can before I can anymore, which I can understand that.
Yeah, I sympathize with Bruce
It's
Willis.
kind of sad.
on that aspect, but it's also like, boy, I can't wait to see CGI Bruce Willis and shit. Like,
well, you know, it depends if it's successful or not.
it's not for me. I'm just gonna like the moment movies star like CGI versions of like dead people, and like they already do because like the new Star Wars movies that came out with like Grand Moff Tarkin and like CG Leia. I haven't seen those because I don't.
It feels wrong. It's like I'm also not going to go to a hologram jukebox show.
Yeah, and it's not even like out of respect for the dead person. It's just like I have absolutely no interest in like literally watching a corpse get paraded around. Like that's just not some shit I have any ever desire to see. Like, I'll watch. I'll get my entertainment elsewhere if we're just gonna start like putting like Weekend at Bernie's-ing like people.
Right.
We'll just go somewhere else.
Zenut says, also don't forget movies being made of appeal to both American and Chinese markets are fucking weird. I think it's a lot of just like Eastern markets in general, but there's a lot of action films that I think they subtitle easily because they're all visuals and they can be dumb and they seem to sell really well. And that's a big market. There's a huge market for that.
But China is the biggest market, which is why you get
a lot
of...
China being like that?
Yeah, like that's why you get Disney movies where they're like, hey, check it out. It's the first ever gay character we did. And it's also like the 18th gay character they did, but like it's like a character who's like in the, like they have like a kiss with somebody of the same sex.
They're in
and,
easily
like,
removable scenes.
Because China has the no ghosts, no gays rule, which is basically like which is like a colloquial way of like you're not allowed to have supernatural shit like ghosts in your stuff, and you're not allowed to have gays in your stuff. And they make
wow,
those...
I didn't know about the ghost thing.
Yeah, I don't know the full politics behind that, but you know,
horror movies must be really kind of sparse over there.
Yeah, it's an interesting rule that they do have, but that's why they make them so easy to edit out, is so that then they can like and that's also like why we watched Moonfall, and they had like the famous Chinese actress in that who was a terrible actress, and she had like a part that was like semi-important but not really. Like
maybe she's just a terrible like
in English, yeah, probably she's probably
English
a great actress in Chinese.
Yeah, because I feel like it's not fair to just like shit on her. I don't know how well she does.
It's like that dude who
country.
They got in I want to say it was like I think it was an Indiana Jones movie where it was like I think it was a Temple of Doom. They have like that guy who they just had somebody feed him phonetically what his lines were in English, so his acting is terrible because he doesn't know what he's saying. He's just saying like bop boop bop beep bop boop, but you know, into form English words. And I feel like it's a similar situation. I wouldn't be surprised if the actress didn't actually know English, and instead they were just like, okay, so repeat after me. Boy, the moon sure is getting low.
Boy, that moon is falling, am I right?
Yeah. And yeah, so that's like a whole thing. Yeah. That's sort of the situation we're dealing with here. Let's talk about the movie.
So I don't know. Oh yeah. Bullet Train.
Bullet Train.
You
liked it.
I had heard of it, but real quick, is that helicopter stuck in the tree too?
Yeah.
Okay, like that.
Thank you. At first, I drew the helicopter just like behind the tree, and I was like, this doesn't read as stuck in the tree. I gotta put that tail in there.
I didn't know at first. I just caught it just now. Nice touch.
Thank you.
Bullet Train. It was fun. You were the first to say that it felt very inspired by like Guy Ritchie films. I would agree.
Yeah, Guy Ritchie. It felt like a combination of Smokin' Aces and Snatch. Like those are the two vibes I got the most out of it.
They're trying to do some like interesting like cutaways and shots, and like, you know, it kind of broke the mold a number of times. And there was a big cast of characters and
big ensemble cast.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
I had a good time with it.
I had heard about it existing, but I didn't know anything about it. I just heard somebody say, I liked Bullet Train. And I was like, what's that? And it has Brad Pitt. And I was like, okay. And that's not me disliking Brad Pitt, but like, you know, as a leading man, most of the stuff he's in is uninteresting.
Yeah, I mean, I think Brad Pitt has a solid spread. I think Brad Pitt.
He's a ton of great films.
Brad Pitt strikes me as one of those like one for you, one for me sort of folks. And,
yeah, that's fair.
And you know, I don't even necessarily agree with the one for me's that he does, like, because World War Z was apparently a big passion project for him.
Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah, and that movie fucking was terrible. But you know, he's been in some of my favorite movies of all time. I mean, Ocean's 11 and Fight Club are up there in like my top 10 at least, I would say. And he's a big part of both of those movies. But he's also been in World War Z and some
he's
other
in a
shit.
lot of like you know, leading man boring stuff that they all have. They're all in because it probably makes a ton of money.
He's got a handsome chiseled face. They're gonna want him for just your schlock if they can get him.
Exactly.
But yeah, he plays. I mean, and the thing is, I do love when Brad Pitt plays a character, because he can play a character. Like in Burn After Reading, he's phenomenal. He's phenomenal in Burn
I love him
After
in that.
Reading.
It's so fun.
Yeah. And George Clooney's great in Burn After Reading too. Like, you don't ever really get a chance to see George Clooney not play somebody who's like very suave and fuckable. But in Burn After Reading, he's like a nigh like paranoid schizophrenic character. I think he might be a paranoid schizophrenic character because of some things his character does eventually.
Yeah.
But he's like very twitchy in that movie, and he does a phenomenal job being that character. So it was nice to see him actually get a chance to, you know, show some chops in that. And Brad Pitt's the same. It's like a lot of times he's just sort of like your boring leading man who's just kind of like generic. You can fit yourself into his shoes. And in this movie, he was a bit more of a character, and I enjoyed seeing that because he does a good job when he gets the chance to be a character.
I fit myself in his shoes often. I'm like, yes, I'm one of the most beautiful men in the world. I reckon I identify with this Brad Pitt character. His version of the human condition is one that's parallel with mine.
My favorite description of it is in Your Movie Sucks. He does a review of World War Z. And in it, he talks about how like Brad Pitt's sole motivation in that movie is like, I gotta keep my family safe. And like in the Your Movie Sucks review, he's just like, but wait, I care about my family. I would want to keep them safe. I have a family. And it's kind of like a lot of times that's his role in the movie is or you know, that's like what they want to hire.
Ford type role too.
I got a family.
Yeah,
I'm
for a
doing
lot
this
of
for my son.
schlocky action that's not like good in any kind of way. That's kind of the main. That's how they tie it to the real world or make you feel like there are stakes.
It's instant stakes. You give the main character a son or a daughter. Guess what? Oh, they're justified in doing the crazy shit now because would you do anything for your kid? Not that there's anything wrong with that as a plot point. It's just it's like a shortcut for a lot of films.
Yeah,
you can tell
it feels
when
like a
that's
cheat
the case.
code.
Yeah.
It's not satisfying because it's been done 10,000 times.
But so yeah, in Bullet Train, he's part of an ensemble, and I do love a good ensemble cast movie where it doesn't need to be like everyone's a famous actor, but like I love a movie where there's not just a main character we're following all the way through.
Right.
Like I love how Arrested Development is like it's like 6 or 8 people or however many people are the main characters in Arrested Development, and like you can just kind of go off on a little tangent with this person for a while, and maybe it ties into the main story, and you know it kind of keeps shit fresh, and you get a chance to do a lot of different storylines.
Part of what made it an ensemble wasn't necessarily the fame level of all the characters, but like the uniqueness of each character. They're all very diverse and like interesting and had their own stories, and it almost felt like it could have been like animated. Like that's how well thought out each character was, I think, like design wise. And that was made it really fun. It almost felt like an anime or something like that.
It did. It had very anime vibes to it. Every character had a look. Every character had a motivation. Every character had a history, that like a backstory that you got like just enough. I never got bored by the backstories in that movie either. Like they knew how to give every character a bit of backstory, but keep it like just the important shit. You don't gotta show me their birth. You just gotta show me why they're here. And yeah, it was a good movie, and the plot kept moving at a good clip. Like when it felt like I didn't know where the movie was gonna go, like where could they go next? Boy, they took that shit. I was gonna use a pun, but it would honestly be a spoiler. But that shit went haywire.
I liked when they did. There were a lot of moments I think in these types of movies where you're like, hey, if I had any kind of brains, I would just be like, I would do this and that, and then I'd be out of this situation. There was a character that basically was like on the same page as you, but things kept like,
yeah,
like basically it was like a murder on a train type film, except it was more like all these criminals are trying to do the same crime on a train, and they all are all intermingled like in a web, and only one of them can complete their mission basically.
Yeah.
So they all contradict each other's goals. But there's one character that was like everything was going right in the beginning, and he basically was like steps away from just. I mean, the first 20 minutes he could have basically stepped off the train and problem solved, but something kept stopping him from just barely getting off. Kept getting dragged back in, and I thought that was kind of a fun way to do it.
It's nice when you watch a movie and you're not like, why the fuck are you doing this? Instead they address that, or the character acts in a way that's maybe, you know, maybe they do something that you wouldn't do, but you believe why they would do it, and that's I never really felt like I was questioning like the motives, or like why, like I never felt like a character was doing shit for the sake of, oh, well, you gotta fucking move the plot forward.
Right. A lot of movies, especially in horror and action, people act like complete aliens, like just doing things that no one in the history of the world has ever done or would ever do, with common sense.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it takes you out of it, because you're like, okay, so we're all being disingenuous here, but I'm still supposed to be scared or like on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, it gets to a point in certain horror movies where I'm just like, good, fucking get killed. Like,
you deserve to die. It's a miracle that you haven't got killed yet.
Yeah, I'm surprised you made it to this age.
Right. Yeah. Surprised you haven't just like drank a bottle of poison because you thought it might be interesting, or I'm curious what it tastes like.
Oh, it's yellow. I love yellow taste.
You say taste when you taste things?
Well, you know, it's yellow. I love yellow.
Taste.
You know, the taste of yellow, or the taste of some sky blue?
So yellow, I'm expecting a nice citrusy lemon flavor, maybe, if I taste yellow. Or maybe banana.
A little bit of the original Gatorade.
Maybe some banana, but that's a rare, you know, you're not expecting that. Citrus has a lot more of a... Big Citrus has really done a much better job in the marketplace.
Yeah. Basically, I think...
Light blue, what's that? Blue raspberry? What are you expecting when you see light blue flavor?
Just take any color and then take
Glacier.
the Gatorade. Take any color, take the Gatorade flavor of it. That's what that color should taste like. That's how I...
Gatorade.
Okay,
like
Gatorade
blue,
nailed...
Though, they don't even explain it. They always just say like something about ice, or it's like glacier breeze.
Yeah, Gatorade, like, you name any color, and then you take the Gatorade flavor of it. Like, Gatorade nailed what that color should taste like, in my opinion. Like, Gatorade, if you see a color, think about the Gatorade flavor of it, that's what it should taste like.
We should do a stream where we get the Gatorade the basic Gatorades that are available, and we try them on stream, and we rate how close they are to what they look like, the taste versus the color. You think it's going to be a 10 out of 10 for each?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, well, that would be a boring stream, then. Maybe we should...
I've never been disappointed by the flavor of a color of Gatorade. I've always been like, this is like the grass green. No, yeah, that's what it should taste like.
There's grass-flavored Gatorade?
No,
it's green colored.
There's a grass green colored Gatorade. It doesn't taste like grass. It tastes good.
Gotcha. Belbo Rocket says, whoopsie, or whoops, I'm outie. I saw outie and they combined it with whoops and created whoopsie. Whoops, I'm outie. Work suddenly got super busy. Thanks for fun. Great pick, guys. Think it's one of your best ones yet. Wow.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thanks. That's good to hear, because we spent the whole episode doing it. And
yeah.
It'd be a shame if it wasn't good after all that, or fun at least.
You know, whenever we do these Where's Waldo type pictures with like a lot of junk going on, they do end up just taking
Yeah.
And we're always so surprised. We're always like, oh, I can't believe this picture took us forever. We only drew 20 people in it.
This one I understand. This one
Yeah.
I looked at the clock and saw what I expected to see.
Yeah. I'd made peace with it once we hit like 9:40 and like we had just like there was still like this whole section not done yet.
I know, but it's alright.
Yeah. But yeah, Bullet Train. It was good shit. If you want like, it's not
For
again.
new
it's
movies.
Not, yeah, for new movies specifically. It's it's probably my favorite new movie I've seen this year, and I've seen quote unquote because I haven't seen all of them. But of the new movies that I've seen this year, and I'm not gonna say like I've seen a lot of them. I've seen a decent amount, but not like any of the particularly artistic ones, I would say. But
I don't know if this fully aligns with what you're trying to say, but the way I felt about it was like when I hear a big budget movie starring Brad Pitt is coming out these days, I'm like, okay, it's probably not gonna be that good. And it was pretty good. My expectations were not that high.
My expectations were it could be fun. But I also I wasn't holding my breath. Cuz I remember when the trailers first dropped, Austin sent me a link and was like, this looks fun. And I was like, that does look fun, but I've been fooled by a trailer before. And that was sort of my thing, as I was just like, this looks like it could be a lot of fun. I've been fooled by trailers before, so when it actually ended up, in my opinion, surpassing what I thought how much I would enjoy it from the trailer. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased as punch about it.
That's fair. I didn't see any trailers, so I was just going off of general lack of jadedness.
Yeah. You didn't see this one, but we did see Beast.
Yeah, talk about Beast.
Oh
Before
man.
we finish this up.
You
don't have to go deep into it, but like,
yeah,
did you like it? Didn't you like it?
Can't really go deep into it. That's why I'm trying to think about how what I want to talk about with this movie.
Quick synopsis. What is this movie about?
I mean, Idris Elba is in the African savannah with his 2 daughters and Charlton Copley, and they get attacked by a fucking lion. And then like half the movie is them in the Jeep as the lion's like swiping in at them, and then Idris Elba's like, "Stay back, girls! Stay back!" Oh! And then like the other half of the movie is them somewhere else. It's a very procedural movie, so it's like
the same line the whole movie.
Same line the whole movie. It's very procedural, so it's just like when they're in the Jeep and they're stuck in the Jeep, you're just gonna be watching for like 40 minutes while they try and get away from this lion and out of the Jeep. And it's like a very step-by-step process of this bad situation that they're trying to live. I'm trying to think of like a good equivalent. Because I've seen it's like a type of movie, but it's like people are stuck in a situation that's bad, and you're just kind of almost in real time watching them solve this problem, which is actually a type of movie I generally very much enjoy. I didn't hate this movie. I sort of nothing it.
Yeah.
Like I didn't come away from it particularly. I was impressed by one thing, and that was the CG on some of the lions. Because there's a scene where Idris Elba Charlton Copley is showing Idris Elba and like his daughters this African savannah, and they like come up on this pride of lions, and then in the scene Charlton Copley like walks up and the lions hug him, and he's like playing with 2 fully grown lions. And I don't think that they let Charlton Copley actually play around with 2 real life lions. I don't think that that's what they're gonna do. So I can only think that these lions had to be done in CGI, but damn, they were convincing, man. Because I don't know if they were real lions. I don't think they were, because it just wouldn't make sense for them to put Charlton in danger like that. But if that was
from that viral video where the guy went back to meet the lions he raised and they hug him, and wow, it's so sweet. And there's a moment where you're like, this guy's about to get murdered, and he doesn't, and wow.
It's basically that video. Like that there's like a scene that's basically that video. If in my head I wasn't thinking there's no way they would let Charlton Copley play with some fucking lions, like I would probably think that those were real ass lions playing around with that famous actor. So
what's that old movie that some like psycho director made where the people were actually all getting mauled by lions?
Oh yeah. You know, I could tell you real quick. I want to say it's Animal Kingdom.
Wild. We don't have to get into that right now. That's a story for another time.
I know exactly where I can find the answer. It's gonna take like 2 seconds to find out. Danny Gonzalez did a video about that movie very recently.
I've seen a few YouTube videos about it. It's such like a wild thing.
Welcome to Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Oh, I can hear that. I can hear the commercial for Hogwarts.
Yeah, right. Here it is. Roar is the name of the movie.
Roar. Pretty wild. Yeah, I recommend finding a video that kind of goes into it, and it's a pretty wild
Danny Gonzalez
story.
Which Brandon is not a fan of Danny Gonzalez because he heavily disagrees with his LaCroix tastes.
That doesn't mean I dislike the man.
Oh, you did. You do not like the man. And we were watching that LaCroix video. You were heated, and by the end of it, you were like, I don't like this guy.
Okay. I guess I'll stand by my words.
Yeah. But I'm a big Danny Gonzalez fan. I think his videos are great.
I think he was trying to go for the easy jokes, and he wasn't actually giving it real rankings. That's what I think.
Well,
about LaCroix.
he also I don't think he's been quite into the LaCroix for as long as you.
You don't like LaCroix, then why are you reviewing them, huh? Why are you reviewing all flavors? Just say they're all bad.
He likes LaCroix. I mean, but he was in the video. He was like, I just started drinking it maybe like a couple months ago, but you've been on the LaCroix train for a few years.
Oh yeah. I'm a conductor on the LaCroix train.
You're a LaCroix hard.
I like the stuff.
But, yeah.
Anyway.
So Danny Gonzalez, he's got a video on that movie. So does Red Letter Media. And the Red Letter Media video about it has Macaulay Culkin in it, which, you know, that's fun.
I like that. It's a figure,
Yeah.
again, that you see from time to time.
It's nice. It's nice to watch him in those, like, he's like in 3 Red Letter Media videos in a row. And he just seems like he's happy and having a good time. And, you know, I've heard
That's all
a
I
lot
want
of...
from him.
Yeah, because I've heard a lot of stories about, like, just him being, like, essentially just hella abused from
Right.
his
It's
early
hard to have that
career.
level of fame at that age.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you have that level of fame at that age, you're probably being abused because
Yeah.
a normal parent would not let you be involved in that much shit.
Yeah.
They'd be like, hey, you got to do actual normal kid things. You can't be
Yeah.
this much in the spotlight. You know, like, look at anybody that was that big at that age, like Drew Barrymore or Macaulay Culkin or any of them. It's like, hey, the fact that you're so prevalent in the media at this age shows that you're obviously not getting any real kid time.
And, you know, we also know that Hollywood treats fully grown adults with agency and able to defend themselves so respectfully as it is.
Oh yeah.
The way that they would treat a child who is young and impressionable and maybe doesn't know exactly when is the appropriate time to say that they're uncomfortable with the situation or something like that. You know, it's
sure.
not a good situation. So seeing Macaulay Culkin in those Red Letter Media videos, seeming well adjusted, having a good time, and just vibing with them, it's a little bit wholesome because you're just like, good for Macaulay Culkin. I just want him to be happy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Same with like Brendan Fraser, like how everyone's like sort of rooting for Brendan Fraser after like all of those stories about like the shit he's been through, and everyone's really happy to see him like, you know, getting those standing ovations and things like that. You know, it's like the same vibe.
It all
It's
feels
just
very
like,
wholesome.
yeah, you just want to see these people who have stories of terrible things that they've gone through. You just want to see them like living a good life.
Hollywood chews up a lot of people, so you want to see like some of those people like still be a human at the end of it all.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. Macaulay
Ian.
Culkin, he's in that video. Yeah, go ahead. I don't know what you're gonna ask. I don't know what you're gonna ask me, but yeah.
Do you have anything to plug?
What? You know, I got a couple things. I got a couple things I could plug. If you folks want I am part of a big old comic book anthology that's, we finally did the Kickstarter. It's the thing I've been working on that I've been talking about for a very long time. The Kickstarter's finally out. You can finally support the project monetarily. You can finally pre-order yourself a copy, either digital or in physical format. I'll link to the Kickstarter because it's just going to be a lot easier than me saying.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Support the project if you feel so inclined. It looks great. They have like thumbnails of all the different artists. I mean, I've seen a lot of your stuff and that looks awesome. And then some of the other artists, it looks great too. So I think it's going to be a cool piece of art, cool book. I think people should. I mean, I shouldn't speak for you.
Well, but I think it's going to be.
It looks great.
It might. Some of the stories might be a bit, since it's like a post-apocalypse book. Some of the stories are probably going to be a bit of a bummer. I actually, I intentionally wrote a story that wasn't a big old bummer because I felt like a lot of the stories might swing that way, and it's, you know, I'm also sort of in the mindset right now where I don't want to be bummed the fuck out. Sometimes I'm in that mood, you know? Sometimes I'm in the mood of, like, just experience depression in artistic format, and I haven't been vibing with that as much lately. So, I wrote a story that's not, like, happy. It's not, like, sunshine, kisses, and rainbows or anything like that. It's more ambiguous, I would say, but mine's not a bummer.
That's cool.
And that's not to say everyone else's is. I've previewed many people's stories, and they're not all depressing. But I've also previewed a few people's stories, and they definitely went that route.
I think it's an easy. If you're like as trying to write a story from nothing, and you know the only through line has to be apocalypse, it's pretty easy to take that route. So I think it's pretty cool that you chose to go against the grain in that way and try to come up with something a little less super dark.
Yeah, which is funny because normally I'm the one to go dark in like a joking way, usually not so much in like a serious story. I've written some dark stories as well that just aren't happy, but yeah, I just wanted to, and it's not like my story's not like uproariously funny too, not to give away the game too much, but my story it's not like ha humorous. Got little moments of like, you know, dialogue here and there where characters that maybe, you know, when you talk to people you'll make jokes back and forth because it's just the way you talk with people. But
wait, and you're saying your dialogue does things besides push the story forward?
What
The fuck?
Weird. I don't know if I write good dialogue. I hope so.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. Well, whether or not my story is of any quality remains to be seen.
I haven't got a chance to dig through it yet, but I'm excited to.
But I will say I do have one zinger in there. I got one joke. It's almost like a lot of the story before it. A lot of the story before it is sort of, it's like it builds up. It's not like all leading to this joke, but I like to think that what happens in the story preceding said joke enhances the flavor of the joke. Is all I want. That might be just
with that information. I'm excited to read it and see if I can. I mean, that probably will be clear what you're getting.
Yeah. It's not like you'll miss the joke. You won't miss it.
I don't get it.
I just hope I hope it lands. When I discussed the script with the people who were editing the project and with some of the other folks who were writing stories, and I sort of let them know what was happening in it, they were saying, like, you know, you gotta land this because it's kind of like a thing. But then when they saw what I did with it, they said good job. So,
okay, there you go. That sounds like you landed it.
I hope so. We'll see.
At least by your editor's point of view, that's good.
I just hope it's not cringe.
We'll see. I'm sure it won't be. Yeah. Check out the Kickstarter links in the chat.
Aside from that, on the DrawBomb YouTube page, I did that video a long time ago of Brandon playing Resident Evil 4 in VR. They've been uploading in like 20-minute chunks, to 15 to 20-minute chunks every day lately, just so that it's more digestible that way. So if you want to see those and you don't feel so imposed on by a 2.5-hour video, check out some 20-minute videos. Maybe give a like, maybe comment.
Yeah.
Any of the YouTube
things.
engagement.
I was actually going to plug that myself, so I'm going to go back to saying I have nothing. You made it, so you have the right to plug it, not me. But it's my face.
It's
My face
I
with a mask on it.
I Weekend at Bernie's your corpse essentially. For those videos.
How entertaining I was in the videos until you got your hands on it. That of a corpse.
Well, Weekend at Bernie's is a pretty funny movie. I mean, that was a funny thing.
You're like, hey man, don't knock Bernie.
Don't knock Bernie.
Weekend at Bernie's 2, better than the first.
I haven't seen that one actually.
Oh man, it's terrible.
I bet. Yeah.
they get into some weird shit. I believe there's like some kind of curse that brings him actually back to life, but he's like animated, but he's not actually alive. He's like a zombie.
Like stop motion almost.
No, but when I say animated, I mean like he's moving around, but it's not dudes carrying him. He's now like this curse is like he's got him like walking, but it's like he's still a corpse, I think, but he's like moving around.
That sounds dumb. We should watch that for bad movie night.
We should. Maybe we should watch the original first. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
All right. On that note,
yeah.
I don't got anything else to mention besides that. We got a show on Mondays. Check it out at 8 o'clock. It's great.
Check out P Miller's stream. Go over to YouTube right now. Go to P Miller's channel.
Yeah, go there right now.
He's streaming. He's listening to music. He's commenting on music. He's a good vibe. But yeah,
I'm gonna go there. That's what I'm gonna do.
Hell yeah. But yeah, everyone have a good night.
So long. I'll show you the cat cam, but
yeah,
he is left. He's left.
Good.
Okay. There he is. There's where he was. He's no more.
Riveting stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Good night, everybody. Oh shit! I pressed buttons. I just pressed some shitty buttons. Hold on.
Bye.
Hey.
Bye.
See ya. Have a good one.
So long, Xenu.